So we have read the biography of Madhvacharya. The more elaborate biography is Madhva Vijaya, written by Narayana. We have this book in the Russian language, Madhva Vijaya. We have one devotee, he is Sanskrit scholar, and he's translated books from Sanskrit into Russian. He translated a few books about Madhvacharya's philosophy. One of them is Madhva Vijaya. So Madhvacharya is one of the greatest acharya. And up to this time, this deity of Udupi Krishna is worshipped in Udupi. Lord Chaitanya personally came to the darshan of this deity, and he had an ecstatic dance in this temple, this great ecstasy. He took darshan of this deity. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, this deity is called Nartaka Gopal, dancing Gopal. So this deity was found in this big piece of chandan. So a big piece of chandan. And when this chandan was brought to Madhvacharya, it fell apart, and the deity was there. Very wonderful deity. Devotees, they like to go for the darshan to Udupi to get the darshan of this wonderful deity. Because Lord Chaitanya visited this temple, for us it's also an important place. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was visiting all the places that have been visited by Lord Chaitanya, and he was establishing the footprints of Lord Chaitanya in some of the important places. And now I think Ratnakar Maharaj has a purpose to establish Lord Chaitanya's footprints in all places visited by Lord Chaitanya, because Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur wanted this. So he wanted to fulfill this desire of Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur. And Lord Chaitanya had a big discussion with Tattvavadis, the followers of Madhvacharya, and he defeated them in this dispute, because their philosophy is not complete. And Lord Chaitanya gave philosophies that includes everything. Achintya Beda Abeda Tattva. Other philosophies, they are incomplete, they could not explain everything. But Lord Chaitanya presented philosophies that can explain everything. And Madhvacharya, his mission was to remove the Mayavad philosophy, because Mayavad philosophy was very prominent at that time. Shankaracharya established many maths all around India. The Adi math is in Puri, first math established by Shankaracharya. Up to this time, they have big monasteries, many students, young brahmacharis are studying there, and also in other important places, Shankaracharya established monks. Also, Shankaracharya has established a system of worship in Jagannath temple. Up to this time, they are doing the worship according to the instructions of Shankaracharya in Jagannath temple, according to the old Vedic system. It's not Pancharatric system, old Vedic system. So it's different from the system we are used to worship. And Madhvacharya was traveling all around India and he was defeating many scholars. As we read in this purport, he met many great scholars, Mayavadis, and they became his followers. They became also next acharyas after Madhvacharya. Srila Bhakti Ratnakar Thakur also met many great scholars, Mayavadis. Some of them, they became his disciples. He defeated them in the dispute and they became his disciples. So it's a mission of our Sampradaya also to defeat the Mayavad philosophy, because this philosophy is very prominent at this age of Kali. It's widespread. So Srila Prabhupada wanted us to understand the deep meaning of Vaishnava, Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta, and that we will be able to defeat the arguments of the Mayavadis, because they have quite a big influence on the minds of the people. So it's necessary to have arguments, to defeat their arguments, to help people, innocent people, to accept Krishna consciousness. Because the danger, what is the danger of Mayavad philosophy? Why it's so dangerous? Who can tell? Why we should defeat this philosophy?
They reject Krishna personalism.
Yes, because Mayavadis, they are Krishna aparadhis. Yes. They are saying that Krishna does not have hands, he does not have legs, he does not have eyes, like some invalid. So they are always trying to make some offense against Krishna. And also they are preaching that everyone is God. There is no need to serve God because you are also God. So they are not giving the people an opportunity to do devotional service. That's the biggest danger, because it's a natural position of the soul to perform devotional service, because we are eternal servants of Krishna. It's our eternal position to offer our service to Krishna. But Mayavadis are saying, you are God, we are all God, there is no need to serve God. You can just meditate that you are God, and that's all. So the Mayavadis, their practice is to meditate. Like at sunrise, they are meditating. The sun is rising by my will. That is their meditation. But when they have pain in their teeth, they are going to the doctor. They are not meditating, I am God. They cannot release themselves from this pain, but they are meditating, the sun is rising by my will. Completely crazy philosophy. So it's quite dangerous philosophy. So we have to understand what is real philosophy. And Madhvacharya was pushing Vaishnava philosophy very much. That's why Lord Chaitanya accepted his Sampradaya. Although the teachings of Lord Chaitanya are more close to teachings of Ramanujacharya, still he accepted Sampradaya of Madhvacharya. there are many stories about Madhvacharya. One of them, we read few of the stories from this purport. So he took sannyas at the age of 12. He was very determined to renounce all material attachments and to engage himself completely in the service of Guru and Krishna. Because it's very difficult to perform devotional service, especially in missionary activity when you have so many attachments. Attachments are taking a lot of energy. That's why our acharyas usually they are accepting renounced order of life, because they have to do a lot of preaching, and for preaching you need a lot of energy, a lot of time, and when you are a family man you don't have time for preaching, you have so many things to do to maintain family. That's why our acharyas are accepting renounced order of life. Not everyone can do this, but if somebody has a great desire to do service, he can also remain brahmachari and dedicate his whole life to preaching. And eventually also, if one is completely engaged in preaching, he can take sannyas. Sannyas is not generally recommended, but if one is completely dedicated to preaching, he can also take sannyas. Also, Madhvacharya is famous with his meeting with Vyasadeva. He went to Badarikashram and got the darshan of Srila Vyasadeva. One of our senior brahmacharis, Dayavan Prabhu, he also went to Badarikashram. He wanted to get the blessings of Vyasadeva. This year he is taking sannyas. One of the prominent preachers in Russia. He liked very much Badarikashram. Also he went to the source of Ganges. Devotees also are doing pilgrimage to Badarikashram. Especially Russian devotees, they like to go to these places. It has same climate as Russia. We have the place which is most coldest in all of the world. It's called Yakutia. Now it's minus 60.
60.
Yes, minus 60.
60.
Yes, 60. You can go out only with 5 coats and a mask, special mask, because otherwise you will die immediately. Minus 60. And we have devotees in that place. During the marathon he was calling, oh, today we have a very wonderful weather, only minus 40, we went to distribute books. He distributed very nicely. He's also next year taking sannyas. So Badarik Ashram is very austere place. Srila Vyasadeva is residing there. So if anyone wants to get his darshan, he can go to Badarik Ashram. And Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur, he established the murtis of 4 acharyas in his original mat, in Chaitanya mat, in Mayapur, because he wanted to prove that Lord Chaitanya's philosophy, Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, includes the philosophies of all acharyas. And in his Purushottam mat in Puri, also there is a murti of Madhvacharya meeting Vyasadeva. So Madhvacharya has played an important role in establishing Vaishnava philosophy. So we can pray for his blessings that we continue this preaching, because Mayavad philosophy still has great influence on the minds of people. It's very pleasing for false ego to think that I am God. So many people that are attracted to this philosophy. We have to explain to them what is the real philosophy, what is the real position of the soul. Otherwise, they will remain in this illusion, they will die in this illusion, they will have to take birth again. The only solution is bhakti yoga, devotional service to the Lord. So we have to preach rigorously, to distribute books, to teach people the real philosophy. Otherwise, they are lost in the material world. If anyone has any suggestion, question.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj. This class was organized on very short notice. Yesterday he was in the Ratnakar and today morning we came in the class. So it's an immense fortune. I have a question, like you are distributing book from past 30 years and you are saying that Veda declaration is very important. So can you share some of your realization and inspiration behind doing the book distribution despite the odd situations, so that we can also continue this path?
Full distribution is the life and soul of Srila Prabhupada and also of our spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada's idea was to spread books all over the world, in every house, because these books are giving people the chance to get out of the material world, to understand who we are, what is the purpose of life. So, Srila Prabhupada, at the beginning Srila Prabhupada was very unhappy because nobody was distributing books. He printed Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. It was the first book printed in America. He printed Bhagavad Gita and nobody was distributing these books. They were only distributing back to God because it was 25 cents. It was one coin. Okay? It was very easy. You are giving a man magazine and he is giving you a coin, so it was very easy to distribute, and everybody was distributing back to God. And nobody was distributing book because one book, $10. It was like how to ask a man on the street to give $10. So nobody was distributing books. But then in 1972, Krishna book was printed. Brahmananda Prabhu, he got a very nice deal with Japanese company. He printed in Japan. He brought first books to Srila Prabhupada. It was Ratha Yatra day. Srila Prabhupada was so happy to receive these books. Immediately he called to the people and he said, I will sign the books, you can buy immediately. And he sold all 10 copies. He did not kept even one copy for himself. And devotees, they got an inspiration to try to distribute this book. So one devotee, he approached a man on the petrol station and he asked, can you accept this book instead of payment for the petrol? And the man looked through, okay, and he took the book. And he was amazed, oh, they can buy a book. So they started to go to all the petrol stations. At the beginning they thought that only petrol station can buy the book. So they started to go to all the petrol stations and they were buying books. And another devotee in Canada, he approached a man on the street and he offered a book. And the man bought a book. So he started to offer books on the street. And some people, they were buying the books. The results were not so big, maybe 5 books per day. It was like the biggest book distributor, Maharatha. Then 10 books a day, it was huge. 50 books, some 100 books. So it was increasing and Srila Prabhupada was so happy. Finally, books are going out. So he started to write letters that anyone who is distributing books, he definitely will go back to Godhead. So he was given so many blessings to the devotees who participated in book distribution. He is continuing to give these blessings to everyone who participates. And first America was distributing books and other countries joined, Europe, Russia joined in the 80s. Books were printed underground because it was illegal to print books. Devotees, they were printing in small parties, like 100 copies. They were trying to distribute because it was very dangerous. They can be put into jail for many years. And some devotees, they had to go to jail because of book distribution in the 80s. But at the end of the 80s, in 89, it was allowed to print books and distribute books. So devotees started to print huge, like 100,000 books, 200,000, 500,000. And book distribution started to grow. In 1991, Moscow became #1 in the world. And first 10 book distributors, they have been sent to Mayapur. And and I was also among them. They called Guru Maharaj and they asked, will you initiate him? He is on the top 10. Guru Maharaj said, yes, okay, let him come to Mayapur. And Guru Maharaj was very merciful. He gave initiation on Guru Purnima Day, 92, in Mayapur. And when he was given initiation, he announced there were 10 gurus, like Ratnakar Maharaj, Kaikesh Maharaj, Pravishnu Maharaj. They were all sitting on the stage, their disciples were sitting. It was big initiation. Maharaj announced, he is distributing books. He was so happy that we are distributing books. And in 1992, Russia became number 1 in the world. We distributed 3 million books that year. For some years, Russia was number 1. And Guru Maharaj was preaching here in India. See, they are distributed millions of books in the snow, in the cold weather, and here in India you are lazy. He was pushing very much. And after some years, India became number 1. Moscow still was number 1, but India defeated Russia at least. But after some time, Delhi became number 1. So Guru Maharaj was putting so much effort to inspire devotees here, and now we can see the fruit of his preaching. So many devotees are doing book distribution here, are inspired to satisfy Guru and Krishna. So it's a secret of success in spiritual life. Srila Prabhupada is saying this in purport to the verse 241. Srila Prabhupada is saying the secret of success. If one satisfied his spiritual master, his success in spiritual life is guaranteed. So we have to dedicate our life to satisfy our spiritual masters, and we will definitely be successful in our spiritual life.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for sharing this entire history of book distribution in Russia and your personal diksha. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, we don't find ourselves motivated enough to read books. How can we motivate ourselves to read more books?
Yes, these books are great treasure. Every word. It's famous speech by Srila Prabhupada. He came to Los Angeles, and devotees, they greeted him, and he spoke to them, and he is saying, even this book, Srimad Bhagavatam, is so great that even if one will read one page, no, if one will read one paragraph, no, if one will read one line, no, if one will read one word, his life will become successful. So this Srimad Bhagavatam is so powerful that even if one will open this book and will read one word, he will receive this blessing that after sometimes his life will become successful. So these books are so powerful. So if you will read these books, you will definitely will become purified and you will definitely will attain the goal of life. So Srila Prabhupada recommended to read these books every day. He was personally reading these books every day. If you will ask Shruta Kirti Prabhu or Harisauri Prabhu, they will prove to you that every day they saw Srila Prabhupada reading his books. Usually the author is not reading his books because he's author. But Srila Prabhupada was every day reading his books, Krishna book, especially he liked Krishna book. Every evening he was sitting in the garden in Vrindavan or in Los Angeles. He has his personal garden, and he was sitting in his garden, and one of his disciples was reading aloud Krishna book, Shutakirti Prabhu. If you will ask him, he will tell you this story because he was a witness. First time he came to meet Srila Prabhupada in Los Angeles. Srila Prabhupada was sitting in the garden. He came into the garden, paid obeisances, and Srila Prabhupada gave him Krishna book and said, read out. And he asked Srila Prabhupada, which story do you want to hear? She said, any story, it's like candy. From which side you will take the candy, it will be sweet. So he has chosen one story about Krishna killing one of the demons, and he started to read this story. And Srila Prabhupada was like a fan in the football match. When he was reading how Krishna started to fight with the demons, Srila Prabhupada was and when Krishna killed the demon, Srila Prabhupada started to laugh like anything. Like, the whole garden was like so for Srila Prabhupada it was like a living experience. He was not just reading some story, strange story. No, he was participated in this story. Like, so these stories are alive actually, not just some written story. And Srila Prabhupada, for him it was like he was participating personally in this event. So next day, Shuddhakirti Prabhu selected again another story, how Krishna is killing the demon. He wanted to see how Srila Prabhupada is. And same happened, Srila Prabhupada was like a fan of Krishna. He was laughing like anything when Krishna killed the demon. And when Srila Prabhupada was laughing in such huge way, everybody was laughing also because it was very impressive. It was like a volcano, such laugh. Nobody can imitate this. So we have to read the stories and we should meditate because it's living story, it's not just some old history. Krishna is performing these pastimes again and again in one of the universes. At the moment he is doing same pastime somewhere, so we can participate in this pastime if we want, not just to read some old story.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, my question is, there's a problem which I face always while distributing the books. I think that distributing a book for mere 50 rupees or 100 rupees is of no value before a person who is a donor and who is donating to Iskcon in lakhs. So how should I handle this?
Yes, there are some people for whom to donate 1 lakh it's not a big money. There are many people like this, in Delhi at least. So many businessmen. Like my friend, he was recently in Udupi. And they were doing Harinam on the beach. And one man approached them, they spoke with him, and he said, I am the owner of the ArcelorMittal company. It's a very famous company. It has factories all around the world. And he said, I am helping this temple, I am helping that temple. And devotee, he told him about Iskcon, that we have many projects. He said, okay, you can come to Austria, I can buy for you farm. So there are many people like this in India also. One of the richest people in the world, he is in India, he is number 2 or 3 in the world. Now 4, yes. So there are many people. They don't know what to do with their money because they have so much money. They don't know how to properly use this money. We have to explain to them what is the proper way to use this money. Otherwise, they will just spend this money for nothing, uselessly. So we have to help them to understand the value of this money. This money can be used in the service of Krishna, and it has value. Otherwise, it doesn't have any value. Even if they have millions and millions of rupees, it's useless if they don't spend it for Krishna. So we can also approach these people and we can explain them real value, what is Lakshmi meant for. Lakshmi is meant to serve Narayan. So, sometimes we can try to go to these offices to preach to these people. I am personally going in Russia to the offices. I distribute books to the bosses. I am offering them sets of books. And they are easily donating some money. And they are like other people, so it's not so difficult to explain to them philosophy. Some of them, they are they like to hear. Some of them, they are not so educated, but still they are hearing and buying some books.
Rich, thank you so much. I'm sorry because of yesterday's tiredness and Rath Yatra.
Rath Yatra was very nice.
You were also.
Indra was pouring mercy all the time. We have sometimes Rath Yatras like this in Russia also. The rain is going all
Indra was very much happy, Maharaj.
Yes, he was very happy. But it was not heavy rain, it was like some flowers were flying from the sky.
Actually, generally we have Rath Yatra sometimes in a little summer days, and we have special artificial fountains, with the fragrant water. So this time also when I read that this we have to arrange. So I said, why to arrange this? It is cold time. So Indra was angry because of this. So he automatically started.
It was especially arranged for Russian devotees to participate. Because this weather is for us it's easier than hot weather.
So I said, just to make you all happy.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. And this happened first time with us, so much rain. And from beginning to the end also, when after taking prasad, people came out and there was heavy rain. So, but still, everybody was there, this was a good thing, and everybody took Krishna's name and finally, and outside the sun is shining very nicely right now.
Yes, we had one Ratha Yatra. Radhanath Maharaj was there, Nirajana Maharaj was there, Bhakti Maharaj was there, Rohini Prabhu was there, and the rain was going from the beginning to the end of the Ratha Yatra, and it was in the big park in Moscow, and the boss of this park, the director of this park, was so amazed that devotees were doing this festival in spite of raining for 4 hours. They were chanting in complete ecstasy. So he said, now you can come any day to this park and do chanting. Usually you have to pay a lot of money to rent the place, and he said, now you can come any day. He was so amazed with the determination of the devotees.
Thank you so very much, Maharaj, for spending one day with us. Yesterday you also were on the roads. You did more than 1 hour, 2 hour kirtan also, devotees are very enthusiastic. And especially you easily agreed and you stayed one night here. If you have more time, Maharaj, you can spend more days, or we can increase your days and spend more days. We can have your association, Maharaj. Thank you so very much. Bhakti Ratnakar Ambarish Maharaj ki Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srimad Acharya Tirubhava Mahotsav ki Jai.